Syracuse. A Cumulus media station, the voice of the Central New York sports fan, The Score. 1260. Welcome to your home for local sports in Syracuse. Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. If you're watching the stream, which of course you can watch on twitch.tv/marker_box, you can go to my Twitter account at marker_box, or you can go to the Score 1260 YouTube channel. You will notice that it is once again a solo effort for me today. No, Josh. He told us last week that he wasn't going to be here this week. He is currently on a trip to Cincinnati, watching some soccer. And that's, good for him. I think tomorrow they are catching a Pirates game in Pittsburgh. So, good. Yeah, hope he has a good trip. Don't know why he's going to watch Premier League soccer in Cincinnati, but hey, to each their own. I wouldn't go, but that's just me. I'm not much of a soccer fan, as I've detailed on this show previously, but I am a fan of many other sports, and there are a lot of things going on in every other sport right now. Major League Baseball, in the middle of their we're really getting into baseball season now. Major trades are starting to happen, which I will get into. The Rafael Devers trade. Don't you worry. I will get into this trade. You've got history being made by a switch-hitting catcher in Seattle. You've got the Padres and Dodgers going at each other like they hate each other, which they do. And you've got a pitcher attacking a fan in the stands. Wild things going on in Major League Baseball right now. College baseball. Final. College World Series starts today. My beloved Arkansas Razorbacks once again eliminated before the College World Series final. Been following this team for 10, 11 years now. And it seems like every year the team just gets better and better. And every year they get eliminated before the final. It has not been fun as an Arkansas fan. They go down to LSU in an absolute heartbreaker the other night. LSU will be taking on the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers in the final. That starts today, 7 p.m. on ESPN. Coastal Carolina, great story heading into the College World Series this year. Hadn't been back to Omaha since they won the thing about 10 years ago. Couldn't even make it back into Omaha, Nebraska. They end up getting there. Now they're playing in the final again, looking to win yet another men's college World Series final. LSU is minus 165 on the money line today. Coastal Carolina is plus 120. I really like the cut of these Chanticleers jibs. And that's right, it's Chanticleers, not Chanticleers. Chanticleers. Jim says, Royal Ascot horse racing today. Where's Saratoga Pat when you need him? I haven't heard anything from Saratoga Pat on the Royal Ascot, Jim. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if that's his bread and butter. These horses racing on grass. So maybe we get a call in from Saratoga Pat today talking about the ponies, but I would be kind of surprised. A lot of other things going on. The NBA Finals, we got Game 7 tomorrow between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. OKC minus 6.5 on the money line or on the spread. We will talk about that one. NHL, Stanley Cup, wrapped up. I was really pulling for the Oilers. I really was. But it seems like no one was going to beat that dynamite Panthers offense. They end up winning Game 6, 5-1 on Tuesday. Just a unbelievable run the Panthers have been on. This is back-to-back. A lot of, they're looking to do it again next year. I just need Edmonton to get one with McDavid. Every time I watch, and I've talked about this before, every time I watch hockey, specifically an Oilers game, Connor McDavid does something that blows my mind. Typically something I've never seen someone else do on ice before. Now, I didn't get to watch Gretzky. I'm young. All right. By the time I started watching hockey, the great one was no longer around. So, but every time I watch Connor McDavid, I am absolutely stunned by something he pulls off on the ice. And I need Edmonton to to build even more around him and get this guy a Stanley Cup, because he's someone that we're going to be talking about in the future as one of the greats. And to do that, he's got to be able to hoist that cup. So there's a lot of things going on today. A lot of things going on in the world of sports. We got the golf, Scotty Scheffler tied for the lead. Absolutely shocking, but even more so in golf, Jay Monahan is going to be on the outs. The commish, by the end of 2026, will no longer be the commissioner of the PGA Tour. Brian Rowlapp will be the first CEO in the history of the tour, taking over for Jay Monahan. He's stepping down late 2026 after 10 years with the PGA Tour. Rowlapp comes from the NFL. He was the league's executive vice president, chief media, and business officer. So the guy knows how to get eyes on a product. If there's anything we can say about Brian Rowlapp, is that he knows how to get eyes on a sport. Something that people would say golf needs right now. Golf needs more eyes on the PGA Tour. I kind of wish it was someone that had something to do with golf. Yeah, I do. As a massive golf nut, I would have liked someone to, someone involved to take over, but I think business-wise, this is a great decision. I think he will put someone high up in the tour office with him that is experienced. I have a theory on who I think they would want to do it. I don't know if he would, but it seems like, from what they've said, that he will hire someone who's been around the game for a long time to be kind of his right-hand man to inform him more on the world of golf itself. Now, I think they probably want Tiger. Do I think they're going to get Tiger? No. But I think if they were to handpick, okay, this guy is going to be the right-hand man for the PGA Tour, I think they obviously want Tiger Woods. A name that I've heard thrown around that I think would be great is Vijay Singh. Plays on senior tour now. Still, it still makes his Masters appearances. Been around the game forever. Been all over the world with golf. I think Vijay Singh would be a good pick as well. And we obviously know it is a fairly trying time in the world of golf right now. Jim says Freddie Couples. Freddie would be a good pick. Any of those guys. Freddie, VJ, Bernhard Langer. Any of those sort of elder statesmen, at least for a couple of years. Tiger, by the way, one of the guys that interviewed Rowlapp, him and Adam Scott, the two player directors on tour, part of the interview process for Rowlapp. But I think you get one of those guys that's been around, has done everything you can do in the world of golf, and put him right next to Rowlapp. And when he tries to make a decision, his input has just as much, maybe not just as much say, but enough say to maybe sway Rowlapp one way or the other. And it's a very divisive time in the world of golf. We've been hearing about this PGA Live merger for like 3 years now, and nothing has happened. If you get someone with a lot of experience around the game next to Rolap as the right-hand man, I really think that would greatly benefit the game of golf. And I am not the world's biggest Jay Monahan fan. I think some of the decisions he's made in recent years have been questionable at best. But I'd say he did a solid job in his 10 years. I wouldn't say he did a great job. I would say he did a solid job in his 10 years as commissioner. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Brian Rolap can do in the years to come. Jim mentioned, fortunately, no live guys won the U.S. Open. I didn't even mention U.S. Open concluded on Sunday, on Father's Day, as it always does. J.J. Spawn, the only man to finish under par, takes home the U.S. Open with an unbelievable putt on 18. Hand up. I didn't think J.J. Spawn had the stones to win the U.S. Open. I really didn't. After watching what happened at the Players when he goes into the playoff with Rory McIlroy. Now, Rory was always going to win that tournament. It just felt like it was Rory's tournament to win. So that's part of it. But watching Spawn in the playoff absolutely melt down, I really didn't think he had the stuff to win the U.S. Open. He had that great round on Thursday, sort of fell off. All of a sudden on Sunday, he shoots a 40 on the front. And you're like, all right, JJ, thanks for coming out. Bogeyed 5 out of the first 6 holes to shoot 40. It was rough for Mr. Spawn on that front 9, but the way he was able to lock in, come back, end up shooting, what 3 under on the front? 4 or on the back, 3-4 under on the back. Absolutely stellar stuff from JJ Spawn, who pretty much locks himself into the Ryder Cup team. He ends up shooting 2 over 72 on Sunday, 3 under 32 on the back after shooting a 5 over 40 on the front. Birdies 17 and 18. Really, really impressive. You had Robert McIntyre at 1 over, Victor Hovland at 2 over, Carlos Ortiz, Cam Young, and Tyrrell Hatton at 3. It was absolute carnage on Sunday at the U.S. Open, which is what I love. Oakmont delivered once again. I'm telling you, this is why Oakmont is my favorite U.S. Open venue, because you have a guy shoot 5 over on the front. He's dead. He has no chance. Because the back, a lot of people say, the back's even harder at Oakmont. He's got no chance going into the back 9. To throw 4 birdies on the card, 2 of them coming on 17 and 18, especially with that putt he hit on 18. Now, he had 2 putts to win it. He did have 2 putts to win it, but to hit that putt, well done, JJ. He's now 3rd in the Ryder Cup standings. He pretty much locked himself into a spot. So we'll be seeing JJ Spawn at Bethpage. I'll be seeing JJ Spawn at Bethpage. Very excited for that. And Oakmont shows once again why it is the best U.S. Open venue. Awesome to see an American. Awesome to see a guy that really came out of nowhere to win the biggest tournament in my opinion, the biggest or the best tournament in golf every year. So, congrats to JJ Spawn. We do have to take a timeout. Pat is locked in to the Ascot, so maybe Saratoga Pat will be able to give us a little information on the horse racing going on today. It's on NBC right now over there in England. So, maybe Pat's got some stuff on the Ascot, but if not, much more to come. Like I said, I still got to break down that Rafael Devers trade as a Red Sox fan. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Phone lines open the entirety of the show. 315-671-1260 if you want to chime in. That's 315-671-1260. Call during the breaks. I'll screen your call and bring you on after. You are listening to Outside the Box Score on the Score 1260.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by...
Oh, Pat's going to be at Aqueduct. Okay. And Jim, I said it before. I like the U.S. Open more than I like the Masters. It's just my opinion. Yeah, I'm not going to say the half ounce, half hour is dead because it isn't, but I've been working closed shifts on Thursdays recently, and I just been a lot. I have a lot going on, man. Thanks, Pat. I'm exhausted. This is like my third straight, 60-hour work week. Yeah, that having a job, it's tough, man. You should give it a try sometime, though. We've had 5 tournaments at Bellevue in the last 2 weeks. Golf is a short season. Listen, it's a shorter season this year because the weather's been so bad. But yeah, it's been. I've just been. I counted. It was. I had 2 days off in this stretch. I think 2 or 3 that I went and played at Bellevue, but I spent 17 consecutive days at my place of employment. It is not too hot to play. It's absolutely gorgeous golf weather. Ball flies when it's this hot, Jim. Ball goes a mile. I had to get a tune-up the other day. I had to get a lesson. It was getting real bad. I'm back now though. I'm good. Just I couldn't put together 2 shots in a row. It was atrocious. There's no such thing as too hot to play golf. Dude, I just got an obnoxiously big TV while Emily is out of town. Excellent. Love that, buddy. That's how you do it. That's perfect. How big is it? What are we talking numbers wise? Exactly how large of a TV is this? It's 65 is a big one. I'm trying to think of what we got at the apartment. Because we have a large TV in the living room. Oh, if you got it for free, you can't say no. Yeah, I think we've got a 65 in the living room. But yeah, if someone's offering you a free 65-inch TV, yeah, it's not like you paid for it. Yeah, let her be mad. Jesus. The hell? $55, solid. It's versatile, you know. Shout out Verizon. Oh, so you got new Wi-Fi and it came with a TV. Gotcha. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. Pat discussing his new TV, 65-inch TV. That's great. How many TVs do you have in the living room, Pat? That's the question. because you strike me as a multi-TV guy, and I'm a multi-TV guy sometimes. There's, a bunch of stuff going on. Sore subject. That means you're a one TV guy. Well, I was going to say, I remember at your old place, I mean, this is years ago when you were living living at SU. You had a 3 TV setup in the living room, I think. And I remember going over there, and we were just watching a Bills game, and we had 3 football games on at once, I think. It was at least 2, but definitely at least 2. You did have so you had a 5 TV setup at one point. I think when I was there, it was 3, and it was fantastic. It was excellent. Sitting watching a bunch of games at once. There's nothing better. Usually for week 1 of the NFL season, we do, at my parents' place, my dad and I will set up 2 or 3 in the living room and just watch all the games. It's fantastic. But getting away from football, I got to talk about Major League Baseball, and I have to talk about my Boston Red Sox once again just reaching into my chest and yanking out my heart. So the Red Sox traded Rafael Devers to the San Francisco Giants. Of course they do it to my father's favorite team, so I'm still going to have to watch this guy play all the time when I'm with my dad. Devers was an interesting situation in Boston. I've talked about it quite a bit on this show. I've talked about it on other shows. When you sign a guy to be your franchise face, give him this huge contract to be your third baseman, and then immediately turn around and say, we don't want you to play third base anymore. We're going to sign Alex Bregman. We're going to move you to DH. Okay, that's fine. I thought he was going to be a DH sooner rather than later anyway. I thought he was going to be he's going to age like Big Papi 2.0 in Boston. He was going to be the DH forever. He was going to hit a ton of home runs. His number would be up in the rafters. It was going to be great. Then Tristan Casas goes down. His knee explodes. And then it's, hey, Raffy, we know you just got used to playing DH, and you're really starting to find your groove. Can you learn another position? Can you play first? Naturally, he's a little frustrated at this point and says no. A lot of people hold this against him. A lot of people hold this against the team. I think it's a little bit of both, personally. You would like if the guy was more willing to change positions, but he said if they asked him before the season, that would be a different story. But ask him in the middle of the season when he's already had to transition from third base to DH. You saw that transition mess with him the first month of the season. Finally started to get back in his groove, be the Rafael Devers that we all came to know and love as Red Sox fans. Then you ask him to change again. Then it's going to put him in another funk. There's a lot of moving parts. Jim said, didn't Ortiz play first in interleague games and in the World Series? Yes, he did. And I'm assuming if that ever had to be the case again, which it doesn't, that Devers would have played the field as well. They wouldn't just take him out of the lineup in that situation. But it's not like Ortiz was a great first baseman. The guy was a DH. And it's not like Raffy was a great defensive third baseman, because he certainly wasn't. He was kind of bad. But it's for the guy that was dubbed Little Poppy by fans, Raffy 2 scoops. He's got the chubby cheeks. He's always smiling. He's always got a massive lip in. I mean, just packs the fattest lips of anyone in baseball. To see the guy that I thought was going to age with me as a Red Sox fan. To see him shipped off so early into the contract, I just thought was ridiculous. And Jim says, tough to commit to a permanent DH for the next 8 years or so. They've done it before. David Ortiz was the DH for 13 years. And worth every penny. I don't care if he's just a DH. Your franchise player can be a DH if he hits 290 with 40 home runs. Pat says, all right, but Poppy is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Rafael Devers very well could be by the time it's all said and done. I'm not saying he's the same caliber player as David Ortiz, same caliber hitter. He isn't. But we are looking at a guy who, through his age 28 season, has 215 home runs, a career 860 OPS, 130 OPS plus, averages 33 home runs and 107 RBI per 162 games. He is on track to put up really good power numbers over the next 8 years if he ages gracefully as a DH, which is what the plan should have been. It just blows my mind that once again, this team can feel like they're spitting in the face of their fans by taking the most beloved guy on the team and shipping him off. Now, the Betts situation was different. That was an expiring contract. I wanted to pay Mookie Betts. I wanted him to be in Boston forever. But to do it twice in a 5-year span, it just blows my mind that this organization refuses to hold on to players of that caliber. Blows my mind. An organization that's won 4 World Series in the last 21 years. An organization that always finds a way to have unreal talent, even on their bad teams. Ted Williams, Carl Yastrzemski, Jim Rice, Dwight Evans, Mo Vaughn, Mike Greenwell, Nomar Garciaparra. The list goes on and on of great players to play for bad Red Sox teams. And when we have a chance to compete for years to come with a good core, 3 young guys that just got called up. I know Christian Campbell got sent down. He's been struggling. But you've got the young talent, Christian Campbell, Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony. Got good, decent starting pitching. The bullpen's a disaster outside of Aroldis Chapman, but that's beside the point. But you have a chance to compete for a wild card spot this year. And you trade away your franchise player a month and a half before the trade deadline. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So, Rafi, all the best to you in San Francisco. I'm looking forward to watching the remainder of your career. If you end up in Cooperstown, I hope you wear a Giants hat. That's all I got to say about that. If you end up in Cooperstown, I hope it's an SF on your hat and not a B, because Red Sox don't deserve it. They just don't. It also doesn't help that the Red Sox got back in the trade. which at least are somewhat interesting. You get this kid out of Florida State, the outfielder. He put up good numbers at Florida State, first-round draft pick last year. The Red Sox passed on him. Red Sox could have drafted him, but they didn't. But they get him back. You get Kyle Harrison, who I like, young, lefty, was supposed to start Sunday Night Baseball the night that he got traded. They send him down to AAA. Jordan Hicks can't throw a strike. It's just feels bad, man. Just feels bad. But that's all I got to say about that. We got to take another timeout. We'll be back in a few minutes here on Outside the Box Score, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together.
Give me a second, Pat. The ads are gone. They're not important on the live stream. Yeah, it's a lot easier to nail the breaks when we're not just going off on tangents. Have we sold any ads lately? Absolutely not. I'm not even trying. I don't have time. Like, why are you saying we? Until you and Josh actually start your PR firm. There is the one place with 16 draft beers, or 16 craft beers on tap. Listen, I still go there. I still give them my money. But yeah, just didn't work out. And nothing against Myers Creek, and it's just there was some shaking up in the higher ups at Myers Creek that treated some people that I knew not the way I would like them to be treated. And so some of the people I know are no longer there. And plus I no longer have I had a deal with them that sort of fell through. Yeah, Pat, pretty much. Pretty much what you had to deal with. Yeah, and nothing against them. Like I said, I still go there. I still spend my money there. I still drink their beer. I still think it's great beer. That was never, by the way, I've always, when I tried to, go out and get sponsorships, it was always things I actually genuinely enjoyed. And just because they were paying me to say it, I love their beer. I think it's great beer. And I still go out of my way to drink it. So yeah, Jim, yeah, I can imagine it is way easier being retired. I got a little ways to go for that. Hell, my dad retired and took 3 jobs. No, Pat, I'm good. Yeah, Like I said, the business is on the back burner. My Bellevue is it's just all the time. Retired kind of means no jobs. Well, he retired from like the full-time workforce. He works part-time. Dude, Steve's was my original bar sponsor. It's not even making up ads. I can play the old Steve's ads. I still have them. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. We were just talking about baseball, and I want to get a little more positive on the baseball front because something really cool is happening in Seattle. Now, I know Aaron Judge right now is the runaway winner of the American League MVP, and deservedly so. 100% deservedly so. But there's something going on in Seattle that's a lot of fun to watch. Cal Raleigh, the Big Dumper, as he's affectionately called, his nickname, did something yesterday that put him in the same conversation as Johnny Bench, which is always a good company to be in. He had 2 home runs yesterday in a 9-4 victory over the Chicago Cubs in Wrigley Field. Those 2 home runs were his 28th and 29th on the season. He leads all of Major League Baseball in home runs. Cal Raleigh has been slugging the absolute crap out of the ball. Number 29, his second one. It was his 5th go-ahead home run in the 7th inning or later this season. That's the most in Major League Baseball. Yes, Jim, I did say Big Dumper. That's his nickname. So the 29th home run was the most, he now has the most home runs ever hit by a catcher before the All-Star break. Johnny Bench had 28 in 1970. And now Cal Raleigh has 29 right now. Really impressive. It's tied for 4th all-time for Mariners home runs before the All-Star break. Here's the list. In first, 1998, Ken Griffey Jr. In second, 1994, Ken Griffey Jr. In third, 1997, Ken Griffey Jr. And tied with Cal Raleigh in 1999 is Ken Griffey Jr. Pretty good company to be mentioned with Johnny Bench and Ken Griffey Jr. Here's some other companies with. It's his 6th multi-homer season or game of the season, which tied Mike Piazza for the second most by a catcher in a single year. Piazza did that in 112 games. Cal Raleigh needed 73. Javi Lopez, former Braves and Orioles catcher, leads all catchers in multi-homer games in a season. He had 8 in 129 games. Just really impressive stuff from Cal Raleigh. And this is a guy, keep in mind, won the Platinum Glove Award last year as a catcher while hitting 34 home runs and driving in 100. He only hit 220, but he had 30 home runs the year prior. He had 27 the year before that. He's 28 years old. There is no better power-hitting catcher in Major League Baseball right now than Cal Raleigh. Guy's got 122 career home runs in 537 career games. He's 28 years old. Does he strike out a lot? Yes. Does he walk a lot? No. His walk rate's actually a lot better this year because guys are afraid to pitch to him. The guy's got a 195 OPS plus this year. OPS, or regular OPS, over 1,000. Just a great story going on in Seattle. And the Mariners, fun team. They're currently sitting at 38 and 36. They really needed an offensive boost. That was what everyone was saying going into the season. They've got such great young pitching. with Brian Wu and Logan Gilbert and Emerson Hancock, Logan Evans, George Kirby, who Kirby struggled this year. But all these great young pitchers that eat innings and strike guys out. And I didn't even mention Luis Castillo because he's not young. He's 32 years old, but it's not like he's old either. And they've got one of the best closers in baseball in Andres Munoz. So it was like, okay, the Mariners need to go out and they need to add a bat in the offseason. And then they didn't. They just didn't. They trusted their bats, and it hasn't exactly worked out this year, outside of Cal Raleigh. They do have J.P. Crawford, who has a 141 OPS plus this year. He's been good. He's hitting 288. Jorge Polanco has had his stretches. He's got 11 home runs. Julio Rodriguez will return to form at some point. So there are guys. And if the Mariners get hot, watch out in the AL West, because it could be a really fun stretch later in the season in the American League West, because it's like they're in second right now, just 2 games over 500. It's going to be a battle. The Astros aren't what they used to be. The Rangers are up and down. The Athletics and the Angels, who knows what's going on with those two franchises. It's going to be a fun AL West race. And I'll tell you right now, my eyes are on the Seattle Mariners. Jerry DiPoto does an incredible job with that team. And Dan Wilson, the manager, has been doing some really good work in his second season in Seattle. He took over last year after they fired their manager. So just a team to look out for and a player to look out for. Cal Raleigh might give Aaron Judge a run for his money for that American League MVP coming up later on this year. Take another time out, come back. More to talk about here on Outside the Box Score, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260.
If Twisted Tea...
I didn't say Raleigh was going to win MVP. I was just saying might give him a run if he keeps these power numbers up. What if he hits 60 home runs as a catcher? That's going to get a lot of votes. We don't see catchers put up numbers like this very often. Like, yeah, Judge is going to win the MVP. There's no doubt about it. He's going to end up hitting, not since me at Van Dyne. He's going to end up hitting, by the end of the year, probably 350 with 55 home runs. He's going to win MVP, but listen, someone's got to finish second, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's Cal Raleigh. Oh, yeah, I was going to... What happened to the infamous torpedo bats? They're still using them, and naturally, like everything in baseball, they regress to the mean. Yeah. Yeah, Volpe is just not good. Let's see if this will work. Shout out the original bar of Outside the Box Score. Looking for a place to have a beer and watch the game? Look no further than Steve's Restaurant. Steve's opened in 1937, making it one of the oldest bars in historic Tipperary Hill in Syracuse. If you stop by the 401 Milton Ave location on the weekend, you won't want to miss some of the best Mexican food in the area. If not, stop by anytime. No, it's not playing on a reasonably priced ice cold beer or cocktail served by the friendliest group in central New York. Steve's Restaurant, the official bar of Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands. There we go. That was one. I did like a few ads for them too. They do serve cocktails. They're known for their Bloody Marys. Like that's a big thing at Steve's is their Bloody Marys. I've got a St. Patrick's Day ad for Steve's. I've got like there's Steve's ad 2. I don't even know what that is. Need something for the back wall since it's only your show now? Yeah, I know. I should just like make like a really bad poster or something. Yeah, big golf poster. We do have the you guys can't see them from the camera angle. There's 2 very large Jim Boeheim posters in here. Maybe I throw one of those on the back wall. That one used to be there. Yeah, 2 just incredibly large Jim Boeheim posters. Coach is staring at me every time I do the show. Saw Coach like last week, 2 weeks ago. Pat, stop it. Stop it. No. Yeah, I was going to say, does anyone know his name? Just looking. I used to like do stuff on this show. We got like bits in here that I recorded and like saved. That's fun. I've still got a bunch of stuff from when I had an intern. Remember, shout out Stephen Byer, my old intern. He was the man. Outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. Pat says he thinks he saw my old intern, Stephen Byer, at the Yankee game the other day, and I need to hear this story. Listen, it wouldn't surprise me. Steve's from down there. He's a Yankee fan. I've not talked to Steve in a little while. I know he does tune into the show still every once in a while. Last time I saw him was at Coleman's, actually, and I was like, "What are you doing in town?" And we caught up. It was great to see him. I haven't talked to him in a little bit, but shout out the original intern on Outside the Box Score, Stephen Byer. And I also had Braylon Noble for a while. I've had 2 interns on this show. I used to do things on this show. Yeah, shout out the 2 interns that have worked with me on this show. I was looking during the break at some of the Pat, if you want to be an intern, you're more than welcome. You don't get paid, and I'll cut your mic off randomly. Just come up every Saturday, and we'll just do the show. It'll be great. Jim said was just thinking Pat might have some time. Ouch. Pat was saying I should steal segments from other shows. The only real segment I've ever had on this show was when Steven was my intern. We used to do the Oswego Sports Corner, where I would not prepare him, and I would just randomly start playing music and like point to him and be like, "All right, give me an update on Oswego sports." And he was always unprepared. It was always funny. That was the one segment that I like kept up with on this show for a while. Pat wants me to steal segments from other shows like Life Advice from Ryan Russillo. I will never steal Life Advice from Russillo because Pat, that wasn't really a segment. That was you guys. That wasn't me. You guys had a segment during the breaks. But I'm not going to steal Life Advice from Ryan Russillo because no one does it like Russillo. I mean, he's the best. I recently rewatched the rewatchables of The Town with Ryan Russillo, and that guy's just maybe the greatest podcast performance of all time. Just throwing it out there. Russillo's got a lot of them, but man, it was electric performance from Russillo. So I will not be stealing anything from him. Pat says, "Yeah, I know you're a massive Russillo guy. I'm getting more into Russillo. Yeah, because my interest in the NBA has waned. I just think his podcast style is hilarious. I've been getting more into the Ringer stuff again recently. I go through periods where I listen to like nothing but Bill Simmons for 2 months, and it really who's the guy that does women's college hoops? That's Ryan Rucco. But which very close. Um, but I just listened to nothing but Bill Simmons for like 2 months, and then it really warps how I think about things. And then I have to stop because I'm like, all right, whoa, what are we doing? But I'm in one of those ringer modes right now, and so I've been listening to a lot of Simmons. I've been listening to a lot of Russillo. I also like their movie podcast, The Watch, the Big Picture with Sean Fennessy and Amanda Dobbins, and then The Watch with Chris Ryan, which is like a movie and TV podcast. I've been listening to those non-stop recently. I was sitting in the studio before the show today watching The Big Picture on my phone, waiting for the show to start. So that's there's a segment. That's Mark's podcast corner for the week, where I just talk about the podcasts I've been listening to recently. There you go, Pat. There's a segment for you, and it involved Ryan Russillo. So you're welcome. That one's just for you, buddy. We do just have to take one more time out. We'll be right back to wrap up the show on Outside the Box Score. That's how you feel like a 2-minute or a 3-minute segment that there just isn't enough to talk about. You just talk about podcasts. We're not doing Rack of the Week. It's not a real segment on this show. I just got a promo that was playing. You guys couldn't hear it. There was just a promo playing for the Best of the Man-Child show, which is not played before my show for like 4 weeks. They just stopped doing it. That is why they pay me the state-mandated minimum bucks. Ugh. You could be out in the heat at Bellevue instead of AC right now. Listen, if I had time this afternoon, I would absolutely play golf. It's beautiful golf weather. Now, do I have time to play golf this afternoon? Absolutely not, but I would love to. I'll be playing again on Monday when it's going to be 93 degrees and humid. I will absolutely be playing golf. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Dennis Santana, reliever for the Pirates, attacking a fan on Thursday. Was going to do something but can't now with Corda and Henderson pairing. Yeah, that's a good pairing. That's a really solid pairing. Yeah, Dennis Santana for the Pirates got a 4-game suspension because he was like pointing at a fan and like trying to get like an officer to escort him out of the game or something, and then he just jumped into the stands and swung at him. This guy appealed the suspension, by the way. He was like, "Nah, I'm good." Like that, I was justified. Tried to attack a fan. Wild. But this does go to Coley Mick's point that he always said once a year in every league. It was Coley Mick and Big Cat have both said this. Once a year in every league, a player should be allowed to punch a fan. You just get one every year. Yeah, they've both had the take, and I think it's a great take. Yeah, they did bring it up to Adam Silver, and Silver was like, "What are you talking about?" Can you imagine if Malice at the Palace was just legal? I'm pretty sure Adam Silver was, in fact, 100% out on that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Adam Silver does not want that to happen. Who you guys got in Game 7? I'm telling you right now, I think I'm going to bet the Pacers. I think I'm going to bet the Pacers. It's a fool's errand. Oh, okay. Pass on the Pacers, too. I've caught, let's see, this is we're going into Game 7. I've caught at least part of, I'd say, 4 games. I haven't like sat down and watched every second of them, but I've caught at least part of, I think, 4 games. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the score 1260. Big day tomorrow for any NBA fans out there. The Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder will be playing for Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Series tied up at 3-3, obviously. And I was just asking the guys during the break who they have. I think I'm going with the Pacers. OKC is a 6.5-point favorite. Total set at 214.5. I think I'm going to bet Tyrese Halliburton just makes the shots, man. That's the best way I can put it. Is you give him the ball with the game on the line, and you know the shot's going to go in. It's one of the best clutch performances I've seen in a playoff run in recent memory. They're plus 245 on the money line to win the game. And I just placed that wager. But he does, it really is amazing. I saw a stat. He was averaging like 3 points a game in the first 3 quarters of these games. And in the fourth quarter, he's averaging like 16 points. I don't remember a clutch performance like this, maybe ever. And I'm not the world's biggest NBA fan. I'm far from an NBA expert. But I do watch a lot of the playoffs. And this run that Tyrese Halliburton's been on has been unlike anything I've ever seen. Now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP, who didn't deserve it, it should have been Jokic, but that's beside the point. When you have the MVP on the other side, that makes it a little tougher, but all this guy's been doing is drawing fouls left and right, flopping left and right. And I'm a big Shai Gilgeous-Alexander fan, but I have not been impressed at all by how he or the Thunder have played in this series. So I'm just going straight Indiana money line, plus 245. I'll take it. I think it would be really cool to see the Pacers win this. You know, a team that sort of came out of nowhere. We all thought the Pacers were going to be solid, but for them to get this far was kind of a shocker to everybody. I'm kind of pulling for the Pacers in this one. The Thunder, they'll be here for the next 12 years with how they're running that organization. So it's going to be fun. I'll be watching that tip-off at 8 o'clock on ABC tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, 11 a.m. right here on the Score 1260. See you then. Peace.